This video shows the different resources that can be used to conduct syntax searches in the New Testament, each of which supports slightly different capabilities. This video will help you choose the right one and will show some of the searches possible. And another video in this series shows us how to actually construct these searches. To illustrate the capabilities of the different resources, we'll look at how each of them handle John 1:1, and in particular, how it handles the word logos. The first resource we will look at is a syntactically analysed Greek New Testament from the OpenText organization. Open it from the command box and select John 1:1. It shows that there are three distinct clauses, indicated by the PC, which stands for primary clause. Hover your cursor over any of the elements to see what it describes. It is a relatively simple structure, using terms and abbreviations, such as S, that indicates the subject of the clause, P, that indicates the predicator of the clause, which can be considered as the verbal component, and so forth. It is a simple hierarchical structure with quite a limited set of terms. To see the definition of all terms used, consult the glossary. One of the uses of syntax searches is to find where structures that appear in a particular verse appear elsewhere in the New Testament. So, to find all occurrences in the New Testament with structures that match those referring to the logos in each clause of John 1:1, and that also includes the word logos, you need a search like this. Note how the same terms are used and how the structure matches what is shown in the clause analysis resource. Run the search to see that this construct, where the word logos is used along with this particular syntactic pattern, occurs 247 times in the Greek New Testament, including 3 times in the verse we are looking at. Note that the results for John 2:22 and 4:39 highlight much larger portions of text. Looking at the clause analysis document shows why this is the case. For example, in John 2:22, the matching construct is part of a much larger word group, and so the complete group is returned in the search results. The next syntactically analysed Greek New Testament we will look at is called Cascadia, and is based on some work done by the Asia Bible Society. Open it from the command box. The different resources available relate to different versions of the Greek New Testament. Select John 1:1. Note that this tagging includes the concept of a sentence, indicated by an SN. It shows that there are 3 separate clauses, indicated by CL, and joined together by conjunctions, indicated by conj. It is much richer and more detailed than the OpenText analysis and enables the construction of more focused searches. And to see the definition of all terms used, consult the glossary. Again, to find all occurrences in the New Testament with structures that match those referring to the logos in each clause of John 1:1, and that also include the word logos, you need a search like this. As before, note how the same terms are used and how the structure matches what is shown in the clause analysis resource, but that it also includes the concept of a terminal node to indicate that it is introducing the word at the furthest end of the branch structure. This shows that this construct, where the word logos is used along with this particular syntactic pattern, occurs 101 times in the Greek New Testament, including 3 times in the verse we are looking at. So the more detailed search parameters result in a more focused or restricted set of results. Interestingly, this does not return results for John 2:22 or 4:39, which, in the case of the OpenText search, returned results with more of the text highlighted. Again, to understand why this is the case, we need to look at the tagging of those verses. Taking John 2:22 as an example, you can see that a nominal phrase element has been inserted in the structure. We could extend the search to include this phrase, but then it would not return results for John 1:1. And this is because the more detailed level of tagging allows for much more specific searches. If we want the exact structure as found in John 1:1, then the search as defined is the correct one. If, however, we want to include these different cases, such as that in John 2:22, we can use the matching skips levels option. This instructs the search to ignore levels in the hierarchy if necessary. The correct place to use it in this instance is on this terminal node definition, as this is the element that this new nominal phrase is under. And note that the arrow connecting the elements is now shown as a dashed line to indicate this option has been set. Rerun the search, which now includes these additional results. The last syntactically analysed Greek New Testament we will look at is called Lexem Sentence, produced by Faithlife. Open it from the command box and select John 1:1. The sentence boundaries are clearly marked with a number of clauses appearing within them. This introduces the idea of a segment clause, where multiple clauses are connected by a conjunction, which itself is not actually labelled, so is not searchable. Again, you can get details about the elements used from the glossary. As before, to find all occurrences in the New Testament with structures that match those referring to the Logos in each clause of John 1:1, and that also include the word Logos, you need a search like this. As you can see, this is straightforward to construct, but doesn't allow the level of specificity available in Cascadia. It shows that this construct, where the word Logos is used along with this particular syntactic pattern, occurs 90 times in the Greek New Testament, including 3 times in the verse we are looking at. If you compare these results with those obtained from OpenText, you will see that the search there also returned Luke 24:44, which is not returned in the Lexem search. Looking at how the Lexem resource structures that verse shows that it places the word Logos in a dialogic frame, which is why it's not returned in the search we specified. Here we can see each of the 3 searches and their results. This is using the initial version of the Cascadia search, without the matching skips levels feature applied. Each of them gives different results, and this demonstrates the importance of understanding the sort of information you're searching for and selecting the appropriate visualization resource as the basis for the search. Having 3 separate resources available raises the question as to which is better for different types of searches. There is, however, no simple answer to this, as they each provide different capabilities, and we will look at some examples of this next. The first example looks at the phrase translated as the fathers in Hebrews 1:1. The Lexem resource shows these words within a participle clause. This provides the ability to search for these words within clauses of this type, using a search like the one shown here, which when we run it gives this set of results. The OpenText resource shows these words within a complement, which, as it notes, includes the direct and indirect objects, but there is no mechanism to specify which of the 2 you'd like to search for. This provides the ability to search for these 2 words within a complement, with a search like this one, which shows results like this. The Cascadia resource shows the words within an indirect object, and this provides the ability to search for these words within clauses containing these types of objects, with a search like this one, which gives these results. Looking at the search results side by side shows that the results vary significantly, both in the number of results and their specificity. So it's important to choose the right resource for the search parameters you are interested in. Another difference relates to the support for different types of clauses and levels of tagging. The Lexham resource provides a wide range of clause types to choose from, as shown here. Whereas the corresponding feature in Cascadia has a shorter list of options, as you can see. This clearly provides greater search granularity at the clause level for the Lexham resource. The Lexham resource also contains word-level tagging for syntactic force, as shown here, which the others do not. A search for a word tagged as infinitive of greeting finds just 3 results, using a search like this one and the results shown here. This type of search, which we can do against the Lexham resource, is not possible against the other resources. As a general rule, balancing ease of use and functionality, a Cascadia-based search is probably the best starting point. But there are some features that are only possible using the Lexham tagging. While OpenText would be a good choice if you are particularly familiar with the terminology it uses. But it is a good idea to take the time to examine the capabilities of each of the resources, to understand the features they provide, so you can make the most appropriate choice for any particular searches you need to